Derbyshire is full of large quarries owned by lots of different companies. These quarries quarry anything from sandstone to gritstone. This got me thinking, where did all the stone come from to build Belper? Back in the 1700's, the Strutt family of Belper built the west and north cotton spinning mills out of local sandstone. The Strutts found a large deposit of sandstone and gritstone, so they built workers' housing from the sandstone and used some of the millstone grit for engine beds and to strengthen building foundations. Yet before the Strutt family, the De Ferrers and the Crown owned much of the local land, the mining and quarry rights. They too exploited this natural reserve. The sandstone of Belper varies considerably in colour and texture. Just driving through Belper, you can see the variants. In the Industrial Revolution, the boom in construction tripled, and the Strutts saw the boom and reopened presumed dead local quarries. Belper had an explosion of people looking for work. These new residents needed housing, churches and infrastructure. By opening these local quarries, he reduced transportation costs, supported the local economy, and enhanced flexibility and efficiency. In the world of construction, the source of materials plays crucial in project success. In the Belper area alone, I have found 20 old quarries. Most of these were for building and for road stone foundations, but there are a few exceptions, as you're about to see. Hunger Hill Quarry was one of the largest quarries in the area for sandstone. The name of the quarry was so called because of how rough the sandstone was. This quarry was located on Sandbed Lane, generally considered medium to very coarse. The colouring of the stone is buff, pink in colour, and if you look close enough you will find rare pebbles, indicating this whole area was once underwater. I remember as a boy I used to come into the quarry and play den and have a fire. There were lots of other children doing the same. Hunger Hill sandstone was worked from the mid-1700s until the early part of the 1900s and supplied the stone to build Strutt's west and north cotton mills in Belper in 1796. St. Peter's Church was also built out of the sandstone in 1824. The Belper Union Workhouse, later become Babington Hospital, the stone was also quarried from this source. Each of these buildings has a familiar redness to them. This is salt dissolution or salt weathering. Much of the dry stone walling on Sandbed Lane was taken from this quarry. Crushed sandstone was also used as roadstone, and even some of the local stone-built houses used the stone for roofing. Next to Hunger Hill Quarry is Pincham's Hill Old Quarry. This quarry dates back to 1540 and is easily missed when you walk down the footpath. I don't know much about this quarry, but you can see signs of dug out holes and spoil heaps. Looking at the stone, it was definitely a sandstone they quarried, and I presume once the owners had found Hunger Hill Quarry next door, they started to use this old quarry as a dumping ground for excessive spoil. Near Strutt Mill in Belper, you will find a small coarse sandstone quarry called Weir Quarry. The stone here was also used to build Strutt's West Mill in 1796 and St. Elizabeth's House in 1896. Using the stone from a quarry would have exhausted supplies very quickly. Unfortunately, not much information about this quarry exists, and most locals drive past it and see a clump of trees and never give it a second thought. Town Quarry off Swinney Lane in Belper was one of very few quarries in the lower Derwent area which extracted Chatworth grit. Years later, this quarry was used as a bottle tip and then became a garden of remembrance. You would never have thought this garden was once a quarry. Only selected sandstone was quarried at the Scotch's quarry off Wyver Lane. It was quarried to build the Strutts' grand home, Bridge Hill House, in 1793. In the historical records of Derbyshire County Council, other sources of sandstone were sourced in the building of Bridge Hill House. Unfortunately, the original house was demolished in 1931. All's left of the original house is a retaining wall of the garden. Blackbrook Quarry on Farner Green Road is the second largest sandstone quarry in Belper. It was worked to supply stone to build a Crossroads farm, the stables, the turnpike road, and many of the workers' cottages in Blackbrook. On the Chevin, in between Belper and Duffield, there has been several quarries, the oldest one being this one, which dates back to 1540, the time when North Road Packhorse route was constructed. This old quarry on the Chevin exploited the Millstone Grit on the ridge. Millstone Grit has several uses, and the most common is the making of millstones, which were used for grinding and sharpening. There is evidence of a working platform or dressing area for many large gritstone blocks scattered in the area. North Road would have had a road into the quarry to easily transport the gritstone to its end destination. Chevin Quarry is the largest sandstone quarry in this particular area. The Musket wall on North Lane was built in the same year the quarry opened. I can safely assume the sandstone which was quarried was used on the Musket wall. The uniform drystone walls on North Road were built in the 1800s. And most likely have come from the same source. North Lane Quarry was worked for a short duration for the sole purpose of extracting sandstone to build the Milford Tunnel Tower. Hopping Hole Wood Quarry at Milford is an essential quarry in this particular area. The quarried stone was first used to build Milford Mills in 1782, and the various mill worker cottages built in the period between 1792 and 1797. Red Lane Quarry at Makeney was one of a kind quarry in the area, as the sandstone extracted was red sandstone. Many of the local buildings, along with parts of Milford Mill, were built using the stone from this quarry. The Red Lane Quarry stone was donated by the Strutts in 1909 to build the Herbert Strutt School in Belper. The longest and widest quarry of them all is the railway line cutting in Belper. The Irish navvies would have had to cut and blow through tens of thousands of meters of rock, and this rock had to be used somewhere. I have found the answer to that, and what an ingenious and cost-effective way of reusing stone. The North Midland railway builders built much of the cutting sides out of ashlar masonry, or as it's commonly called, rubble masonry. Ashlar masonry is a type of stone created by laying highly prepared rocks of the same size, shape and texture at right angles to one another in cement or lime mortar. If you look at the sides, you see the rectangular masonry has cuboid blocks in horizontal courses or tiers. The masonry is highly robust and sturdy due to the thin, regular and uniform connections between the stones. The cutting sides not only use ashlar masonry, but Derbyshire Gritstone was used. There are many more quarries in the local area, and I've only touched on the ones which were owned by the Strutt family. Strutt owned much of the surrounding land, and he was a businessman first and foremost, but he understood that workers needed houses, updated transport links to get his quarried products out, and he needed buildings for his mills. All these projects needed stone, and what Strutt had plenty was land. Walking around Belper and its surrounding areas, I see the landscape differently. I walk past a stone building and wonder where the stone came from to build it. I admire Strutts and what their forward-thinking mentality brought to Belper. I wonder how Belper would look like if it wasn't for the Strutts. But you may wonder what ever happened to the quarries after the Strutts. Belper Council, like many other councils, needed help with managing rubbish. These councils turned to the quarries as for landfill sites. Over time, these quarries were emptied and have gone back to nature, or houses have been built in them. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and I will touch on another video about where did all the bricks come from to build Belper. That will be in the future. But for now, enjoy my other videos and hopefully you may subscribe. Thank you.